My name's Inda Eaton. I'm a singer, songwriter, storyteller. Start with one, and I'll tell you, Scott, because I got to remember my own story, how I put this together. Singer, songwriter, storyteller, and my images today and my thoughts, I'm putting out a new record. It's the beginning of a new journey, and we just had to put together the album cover. And you would think that wouldn't be such a big deal. We just get a bunch of hoochie mamas dancing on a stage with a fireworks show and call it a day, because that's just rock and roll. And I wish it was that easy. And so we got into this project, which again, you just think, we'll take the lyrics, people at a rock show, and call it a day. And album cover's done. And it was comical how long the album cover took, because we have more thought process and storytelling in the album than like the Masonic Lodge. So I thought we'd use these as a device to talk about it. So I do the singer, songwriting, storytelling, and most of what I do is really either a live performance or it's a recording. And there's other variations on this. I do education work, we do this and that. Sometimes it gets to a video, but reality is live recording. And they're very different. And yet they're extremely derivative, one against the other. And nothing explains this more than an album cover. So this I don't even know where the hell my drummer took this. It's actually, I guess it's in northern Arizona. My background, we talk about what we're into. I have Wanderlust. It comes up in everything, just Wanderlust. I can't be in one place. It's always, wherever the hell I am, I'm not there. I'm always kind of dealing with that. And even as I'm more settled, I still have Wanderlust. And in my younger days, there's the early traveling. It was the bungee jumping off the bridges and the mountain climbings and the scuba diving and the God knows what, and the living in a yurt and whatever the hell people do. I had that Wanderlust. And then from getting malaria in Africa, I got cerebral malaria, and that ended that extreme part. I had to calm down. Now I'm calm. Now, before that, it was game on. I had to find something to do, and I kind of tripped out. I had a fever for, let's say, 6 days at 106, and I don't really remember anything much about it, except it was amazing. If I remember, but all I came out of the coma was, you're just going to shut up and do your music, which that was my background, but that was time. I was done. No more bungee jump. Well, I'm not saying no more bungee jumping, but the message was, let's focus. I don't know who talked about ADD, but that was the message. So a lot of my music journey really deals with adventure, and I usually throw that into the set. I usually have 3 acts, and we always go to adventure, 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 wanderlust, yearning, yearning. This record, it's called Shelter in Place, and we'll get there, I think is a little more stable based, and we'll get to why I think that, but still always pulling from inspiration on the road. Okay, so this is, Jeffrey takes this photo. So Scott, let's go to the next one. And this is what we were doing, you can't make this up. We were on a tour in a motorhome going across America. So, I mean, who doesn't love that? And I always love this, because who doesn't love Manifest Destiny and so forth? But by the time we got to this little getup and the picture before, we had already made the record, okay? The songs were written, we had already lived those songs, and now we're touring them. So then in music, they take on a new life. You kind of grow into these songs, and you start to feel, oh God, that's what I was saying, and they become even more iterative. So we got the road, we've got America. Let's see what the next one, what do we have next? Okay, America, right? Well, doesn't that say it? I do a lot of work out west. I'm from the west, I'm not from the east. I was born in California. I grew up between Arizona and Wyoming, and that is if I'm not climbing a mountain, which that's over in the orthopedic, I go to America. You don't need to climb a mountain. You just go out to the last frontier. And a lot of you have talked about politics. It's interesting. I have tremendous opinions and tremendous belief. A lot of my work, though, it's amazing. You would think you'd be preaching to the choir about our shared beliefs, but you're not, because music brings a lot of people to the tent. And interestingly, the places I'm from and the places I'm drawn to, They might not think like I do on many levels, but I'm somehow drawn to this. I guess that's because I come from this. So it's interesting. I will go to a place and play music, and I'll have somebody come up to me and say, I just loved your song. I love what you did. And by the way, I think this way, I do this. And you think, God, who in the hell would ever share that with me? But thank you so much. We hug them. It's got to be a little more big tent, because music is above that. But I'm tremendously motivated by my political beliefs, and we got the idea with the hat. I said, just hell, put on a hat. Look what he did. Put on the goddamn hat. Put the record there. And that's why I'm wearing that. That's my little statement. Okay, keep moving. This is Wyoming. We just saw America. Casper, this is really where most of my family's from. North of this is Thermopolis. This is pretty much like open field, like not even field, just open badland. It is a desert. It's a desert climate, middle of nowhere, and yet there's so much open sky, like the America photo. Inspiration beyond words. Let's go to the next one. So we find the buffalo. Okay, and the buffalo then gets to everything, because I'm up in Thermopolis. This guy, God love, he and his wife Pam, and what's his name, Reggie, God love him. He was a tanner, and that's the first time we see the buffalo in Thermopolis, okay? And it's one of those experiences like, why in the hell do I need the buffalo skull? But let's take him. Let's put him in the car. Next slide. So then it becomes clear. So now the first picture, photo image you see, now we're starting to get somewhere, and this is before the album even came out, okay? We're starting to get a vibe, shelter in place. And that was not totally political, but I mean, driving across the country after the election, you're talking about, man, the yard signs were still up. They were up late. I've never seen an election where the yard signs were up this late. It was almost like, welcome to the republic of my thoughts and your thoughts. And it was like the yard signs were just like, screw you. And if you happen to drive into the wrong yard sign neighborhood, you just felt icky. I know you all felt the same. And even if we have divergent thoughts, whatever you can say, we can all agree we don't agree. So it just felt, we were driving across the country, and it's like, well, god dang, I think the new things, it's either a tour or records called Shelter in Place. And the buffalo keeps coming up. And let's do the next one. So now we got to put it all together, writing the songs. I would say this piece, the Shelter in Place, it's like 11 short stories. It deals with that tension between home and the road. And I think it deals with an inwardness. And this is a shot outside our house in Springs. We couldn't figure out where to record it. You always want to record in a good space. You want the microphones. You want all that. I mean, nobody wants to go record in Craco Radio Shack mics, for Christ's sake. You want the goodness. Where do you do it? And it just kept coming back to us, and I thought, well, God, it's Shelter in Place. Let's record at home. So this is right outside our house, where the crew came and set up a recording space in the back bedroom. I have a studio, but it's not big enough to handle all this. Let's do the next one. Okay, well, the skull comes up again. So Tank made it from Thermopolis, and Tank's now on the wall. It's the first thing you see. And, well, you're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing me. Well, I'm telling you right now. Well, we'll get to Tank. This is Anne Marie. She designed the album cover. We're going to get there. It's the first thing that goes on the wall. And it's funny, I was with a friend. We were out touring. She said, I could never take that home. Tom's a vegetarian. He'll kill me. You do it, though. And I said, well, of course, I have to have Tank. Tank lives there, windows to the outside. Interestingly enough, even our little veggie friends, they just love Tank. Everybody kept couldn't help but rub Tank. Oh, Tank, Tank, Tank. Name of the buffalo. We couldn't get over Tank. It's the first thing you see. And our little vegan friends, God bless them. And if you're vegan, that's all fine. They just love Tank. And then it came to me, and I know why they love Tank. And here's what we came up with. Found this right off the deal. The American buffalo is a symbol of abundance and manifestation. The lesson learned by the Lakota tribe is that one does not have to struggle to survive. By learning to appropriately unite the mundane with the divine, all that will be needed will be provided. And it's like, God, no wonder we took this skull out from the badlands of Wyoming and brought this thing home. I mean, you just could just see it coming. Next slide. So, no, you get right after that. Yeah. So this this group of people, they are as lovely human beings as they are talented. This is a percussionist, bass player, drummer, guitar player. Jeffrey lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. We got this guy, Jeff. He lives in Southampton. Mike lives out here. He's from Queens. B's from Arizona. That is us around the kitchen table where the songs were written, and that's where we recorded the record. Next slide there. This is the group that came from Queens. This is National Geo. You gotta love this with a mattress. These are these guys, Steve and Steve. They are monitoring the recording process from the back bedroom. This is a camera. This is a setup. They got it from an old 7-Eleven that was going out of business. And that's connecting to the, I mean, it's so National Geo. You can't make this stuff up. And they're recording us from the back bedroom. It felt so college just to turn the room up. Let's go. The next one. This is us in the backyard. I thought this was a great dysfunctional family photo. And I felt it was timeless. It was like springs anywhere, any era. You got the wood in the background. We got Mike drumming. He's bringing it back to Tank and the Lakota Sioux. We've got the fire going in Prometheus. It just looks like a beautiful dysfunctional family holiday. Let's go next. And that's what the cover became. Because we took the room, we took the tank, right? And what I just read you, that ended up being the text. Nobody will ever be able to understand what the hell that means, but it's there. And that became Shelter in Place. And we really went back and forth. I wanted the cover to be indoors because we recorded it indoors. But the rub is, I'm an outdoor person. We go to the end slide. So we got the end. So that's the first shot to the end. That is what the road, that's what the road became. We got the people, and there you go. That is the journey from the inward to the outward. And we can't wait to take that out now and process that back to the people. So there we go. Somebody got to ask something.
When's the show?
Can we hear?
Well, I tell you what, we're going to do, it's interesting. The conversation starts next week, really. We're going to be banging the drum. We're going to release the CD at the beginning. I mean, kind of not for the people out west, but for us locally, we'll have the CD next Thursday at the Talk House. Yeah. Lee Lawler sang on it, Rose Lawler sang on it, Nancy Atlas sang on it. They're all going to be there to sing. This entire group of gentlemen, they're coming in from out of town, and we're just going to start celebrating the record and starting the conversation. So that starts next week. Yes?
Next Thursday.
Yes, next Thursday. Yeah? Well, we'd love to have you. It's, yeah, and I've got propaganda. We'll make sure everybody gets that going. Who's got another question? Okay. There you go.
Is this your first solo?
No. No, you know, the question isn't my first no. I think it's the 8th independent release, and I can promise you, when I was like 21 or 22 doing this, we had no idea of the symbolism that caught up with us. You know, I was listening to all of you speaking, and there's an awareness about your art and an awareness about, you know exactly. I don't know, but rock and roll is different. We don't have that much awareness that early. We're just playing rock and roll. It took a lot of years to get the awareness about what was really going on in this journey. So this is the 8th record.
This has nothing to do with anything.
No.
I went to Minneapolis 40 million years ago and to the hot springs and all that.
I'm sure it hasn't changed. It's a state park. They grandfathered everybody out of it, so it's the exact same thing. It's like 1950 is still in that park.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.